Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to today's stream. We are doing this one today on Friday, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about momentum. We're going to look at what momentum is and how we can apply it to the charts, how we can read it, and how we can take advantage of it. Before we go to the charts, I would like to just talk a little bit about momentum. It is one of my favorite things to use when trading. If you've watched any of the previous videos, you would immediately notice the way that my RSI is set up. For example, totally different from what it normally looks like, and that's because the RSI is a momentum indicator. So I've explained this in multiple videos, did a complete video about that, so you can go watch that if you want to see the way I use the RSI. We will have a short look at it today, but today we're going to look at momentum. So momentum is the measurement of the rate of change, of price change. That's basically what it is. It's nothing special, it's nothing secret. It's just showing us how fast price is changing. So when price is changing very fast, when we are in a very strong uptrend, we see positive momentum or bullish momentum, and when price is in a strong downwards move or strong downwards trend, we see bullish momentum or negative momentum. Now, in physics, we know that the more momentum something has, the longer it takes to come to a standstill. We can think of a car. If you're driving around in a car at 60 kilometers per hour and you hit the brakes, you're going to take a few seconds to stop. If you're driving at 120 kilometers per hour, your stopping speed will be longer. So the more speed you have, the more momentum is, there's a word for it. I've completely forgotten that word now. So the more momentum is in the car, and the longer it will take to come to a stop, and the more force it will take to come to a stop. Okay, so that's what momentum is, and we can apply this concept to the charts as well. So we're going to have a look at that quickly, but this just translates that the more momentum, the more upwards momentum price has, the more difficult it becomes to stop. And the more downwards momentum price has, the more difficult that becomes to stop. So we're going to have a look at that quick. So let's go to the charts and see what that looks like. Okay, so we're on an asset here, and all the indicators are hidden. Let's add the momentum indicator quickly. And after this, while I'm busy, let's add the RSI as well. I'm going to make some changes to the RSI. These are visual changes. Okay, so I'm not changing the parameters. I'm just making some visual changes, and you guys will see why in a second. Like I said, I did this in, I did cover the RSI in a previous video. So if you want to go see that, have a look at that. It was explained in a lot of detail, so I'm not going to spend too much time on the RSI today. But if we look at the way that the RSI is set up, remember the RSI is a momentum indicator. So it oscillates between 0 and 100. That means that while the RSI is above the 15 line, we have bullish momentum. And while the RSI is below the 15 line, we have bearish momentum. And if we look at the way that the momentum indicator behaves alongside with the RSI, we can see that they actually kind of correlate. They kind of look the same. We see that these little touches, we see some green momentum coming in, where the RSI is testing the 15 line here as well. But then as the RSI breaks through, we see that the green momentum, that the bullish momentum on the momentum indicator is shown. Maybe we should just make this a 14 period quickly. There we go. This is a lot more accurate. Okay, so now we've got the matching periods, RSI set to 14, momentum as well. And we can see that the RSI is kind of like following the momentum indicator, roughly. Okay, so, but didn't want to focus too much today on the RSI. We did, like I said, we did cover this. We want to look at momentum and how we can use it. So one of the most effective ways to take advantage of momentum is to find an asset that's in a strong trend. We know that when an asset is trending, we can define that trend by price making higher highs and higher lows, or lower lows and lower highs. So momentum will help us find those pullbacks. And we can see then, we can try and establish which of those pullbacks will be is simply just a pullback, and that price will continue in the direction it's moving, or which of those pullbacks might actually be a reversal. Let's have a look at what that looks like. We have this asset here in a downwards movement. So we can see that price went down, we're making lower lows or lower highs and lower lows here. Every time we get a pullback, we can see that the momentum decreases. And if we look at where the momentum increases again, we can see that we had some sell opportunities here. We had another sell opportunity here and another one here. Okay, we are on a 5-minute chart now. So if you're doing this on a 5-minute chart, you will be looking at 15 or 20-minute expiry trades. If you're doing options, if you're doing Forex, you will your stop will be roughly around the last, in the case of this is a downwards movement. So in the case of a downwards movement, your stop will be roughly around the area of the previous high that was formed, the last lower high that was formed. So yeah, we're never gonna play a single candle when we're using momentum. So if you're on a 5-minute chart, you're gonna do 15 or 20 minutes. If you're on 1-minute chart, you're gonna do 3 or 5-minute expiry time. Okay, so you can use this also, by the way, on all different time frames. Today we're going to be looking at the 5-minute and 1-minute charts, because if I look at a 1-hour chart, I'm not going to find any examples of trades that's setting up in real time, and we do hope to see real-time trades today as well, so we can understand or see how it works in action. So hopefully we'll find some trades. We definitely, like I said, going to look at the 5 and 1-minute charts, because we're not going to find entries on higher time frames in the time that the stream is running. Okay, so we had the downwards movement. We can kind of see what it looks like. We can see the momentum decreasing and then continuing as well. And if you notice that the RSI at this point here, every time when price is pushing up, the RSI fails to break through the 50 line. So we see some bullish momentum forming on the indicator, on the momentum indicator, but immediately afterwards we can see the bearish momentum coming in again, telling me that the current move is likely just a correction in the trend, or likely just a pullback in the trend, and that price will most likely continue its downwards movement because we are in a downwards trend. We can see it here as well, same thing. So this is the kind of entries that we're looking for. If we look at this area here, just this asset on a 5-minute chart, we had 1, 2, 3, and 4 trade opportunities during the course of the last, course of today, because this is a 5-minute chart. So one asset gave us 4 entries for the day, which is actually not bad. Okay, so we just, like I said, you just need to look at momentum as a way. If you understand that momentum, the more momentum something has, the more likely it is to continue, unless there is some other external force that drastically influences an asset, it's likely to continue. Not will. Please take note, there's no such thing as price will do this, but we can say that when we have a lot of bearish momentum, it is likely that price will continue in a bearish direction until it does not. Okay, so another thing we can also look at is divergence on the momentum oscillator as well. Divergence works especially well on a momentum oscillator because it shows us where the momentum is slowing down over a period of time. If we look at the way price was moving here, we can see that these are lower lows. Let's draw them in quick. Okay, so price is making lower lows, which is good. This is what we see in a downtrend. Nothing wrong with it. But if we look at the momentum oscillator here, we can see that the momentum is decreasing every time price is making a new low. The momentum isn't making new lows as well. Okay, so we don't have an increase in momentum as price is falling. We actually start seeing a decrease in momentum. And on the third time, we can see that there was a significant push in the opposite direction. Price eventually did fail though. The trend was, the momentum of the trend was not broken overall, so we continued our way down, but there was a buy opportunity here when we saw the momentum starting to go up like this, switching to bullish momentum. We could see, because there was divergence, bullish divergence between price and the momentum indicators, we had an opportunity to do a buy trade here in a downwards trend as well. But this is something you need to keep an eye on, but it's beautiful in the sense that it tells us when it's slowing down. Divergence can actually show, the divergence on momentum indicators gives us a great idea of where our price is slowing down and where we might actually start seeing price reverse. Right, we can look at another asset or two quick, just to see what's going on. If we look at this area here, we had this upwards move here, we had the pullback, momentum switched bearish quickly, bearish for a minute there, and it started going back up, and we can see these rejections on the RSI 50 line as well. So the RSI failed to break the 50 line there. So from here, the RSI showed me bullish momentum until it finally really broke through around here. So it's not always going to be 100% on the 50 line. Sometimes it's sloppy. You'll see like this area here, sometimes it does break through a little bit, but as soon as we get that rejection and we see the momentum switch, we had some beautiful buy opportunities here. And on this rejection as well, we had a beautiful buy opportunity. We could have gotten in basically anywhere after the RSI rejected, and my momentum showed that the bullish momentum was increasing. Because we are in an upwards trend, I am not, when price is moving up like this, I am not going to consider taking sells just because the bearish momentum price switched here from bullish to bearish. Okay, so that's something I'm going to entirely ignore if we are in an upwards trend. I'm only going to look at the momentum of the direction of the trend we are in. We're not going to try and go we're not going to try and go against the trend with this. Momentum is great for continuation, not for reversals. It's a beautiful, beautiful indicator for continuations. It does give you warning signs for when reversals might start taking place, but that's not, we're not going to take entries based off that. Okay, we're going to, for reversals, we'll look at some other stuff, but momentum can warn you that the trend is losing a lot of momentum and that it's the momentum is running out, and we start seeing more and more changeovers between bullish and bearish momentum. Absolutely, then we can start looking at sell entries with other strategies. But the momentum is absolutely great for continuation trades, as we've seen. Let's see if we can pick up one or two trades. I'm going to switch to a 1 minute chart though, and we're going to see if we can find some decent movement. Let's start again. Okay. So here's an example of an upwards move. We've been moving up for the past just over an hour now. No, almost an hour. This is an upwards move. We've been moving upwards. Before that, this was a big pullback, and we had some bullish momentum there. Bullish momentum kept on going. So we had the RSI switch over here. We had the momentum indicator showing me that we're increasing momentum. Interestingly enough, look at how the momentum, the highs of the momentum is decreasing. So we can see that the price is slowing down overall. Think of it like when you're throwing a ball, that ball will go up in the air, and as it nears its peak, it'll start flattening out a little bit. So when it starts to flatten out, we know that it's very likely that the ball will change direction and come back down, and momentum can show that to us. So we are now on a crucial area for this asset. We've got the upwards movement. We can see that it's actually even beautiful, kind of like a channel that's forming here. RSI is testing. We're on 3 minutes, right? RSI is testing, and we can see the bullish momentum starting to increase again. Okay, and the RSI did come down to test. Like I said earlier, it's not always going to be perfectly on the line. It's going to be a zone. It's going to be an area. So we're testing now. We're going to wait and see if price continues, turns back upwards. Now we'll just go with the buy. If we see an increase in momentum and a rejection of the RSI of the 50 line, we're simply going to go in the direction of the move, which is currently upwards. So we'll take a buy. We just need to see that momentum increase, and then the RSI properly reject off the 50 line. Then I've got the momentum indicator and the RSI showing me that bullish momentum is being conserved and price is likely to continue its way up. There's the increase. We do need to wait for the candle to close though. We're not going to jump the gun on this. You do need to wait for the candle to close. If this candle closes big red, it's going to pull the RSI down, and then that's not going to be a valid entry for me, which is happening at the moment. We want to wait and see. This is one of the crucial things with any strategy you use. You will often hear where we say, wait for confirmation. Here we go. We're going to go with the buy here. We've got the momentum increasing again. RSI did reject off the 50 line. We turned back upwards. And that tells me that there's a very good chance that price is simply going to continue its way upwards for the moment. And we'll just wait to see what that looks like and how that works out. Still have some time to go. So yes, momentum is, I think, one of the best things to use in trading if you actually understand it. If you don't understand momentum, read up on it a little bit. Hopefully this video will sort it out. But if there's any questions left, feel free to ask them in the comments, or there's a lot of sources online that will explain momentum mathematically to you. The formula for momentum is actually a pretty simple one. It is close minus close of end period. End period means like my momentum indicator is set to 14. So for currently I am using close price minus the close price of 14 candle of the close price of 14 candles back. Very simple formula. So it's just showing me the change between the current price and previous candles. That's it. It's a very simple concept. So we just try to use it to see, is bullish momentum conserved? Is bullish momentum conserved? Yes, it is. So I'm just going to go with it. Or if we're in a downwards move, is bearish momentum conserved? Yes, it is. So let's just go with it. It's very easy to go with price action. We're not trying to predict. This is also something that's very important to understand. A lot of people, especially new traders, think that trading means to predict what price will do. And I've said this in so many videos. That's impossible. We cannot predict what price is going to do. I can't do it. I don't know anybody who can do it. All the successful traders that I know, they do not predict what price is going to do. They simply look at what price is doing and they follow it. And that's pretty easy to do once you understand that that's what you're supposed to do. But new traders often think that they are supposed to predict. That's what we try to do. We try to predict what price will do. There we go. We've used the momentum. We used the rejection of the RSI, used the increase in the bullish momentum in an upwards trend. We took a trade and we got rewarded. So yes, a lot of people seem to think that they should predict price, and everything they do is focused around trying to predict what price will do. As long as you're focused on trying to predict what price will do, you're going to have a bad time. You're going to keep on struggling, and you're not going to really understand why. Stop trying to predict price. Try to follow price. It's a small difference in concept, but it's a massive difference in trading, because one is impossible and one is fairly easy, and people always want to go for the impossible one. Right, so we had the bullish momentum here. We saw it on our charts, and we saw that the RSI rejected, and yeah, that's it. It's a simple concept. Look at the momentum, wait for the momentum to build up. If you're in a bullish trend, look for bullish momentum. If you're in a bearish trend, look for bearish momentum. It's that simple. If you guys have any questions, by the way, please feel free to ask, and I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. This is a great time to get those questions in because I can answer them in real time. Okay. Let's have a look at one or two other charts. See if we can find any other trades or any other entries that looks good with momentum. Okay, so here's an example. We're too late to take this, but this is a good example of how we can use momentum to find reversals as well. We had price make a high here, so let's draw that in quickly. Price came up. Let's use the highs of the candles. It's still going to be valid. Okay. We can see that price made a higher high here. If I look at my momentum though, that's a big difference. We had this strong upwards push here. We can see how the momentum increased quite a bit. It was going strong and then suddenly just a massive drop off. So these three big red candles caused this massive drop off in the momentum, and then we see it push right back. But if I look at what the momentum was doing here, there's not a lot of green momentum, bullish momentum here. Not a lot of it. It's very weak. So we have bearish divergence on the momentum versus the price in this example. Now, we had the switch over on the momentum. At the same time, we had the RSI break through the 50 line, broke down below. So momentum switched. We had bearish divergence on the momentum indicator. Then the momentum switched to bearish, and we can see that it increased. We could have taken, could have waited for the second. Let's zoom in a little bit. We could have waited for the second candle, for this one, this candle here, and also take a 3-minute sell. This would have been a good trade as well, the close of that candle there. But we did get confirmation that the RSI broke through the 50 line, and at the same time the momentum switched bearish, and this happened right after bearish divergence on the momentum indicator. So this is a sell I would have taken. This is one of the examples where I will actually, even though it's an upwards move, I will take a sell trade. This should not be your goal in an upwards move though, to find that find the spot where price is turning. Assume that while we are in an upwards move, the best thing you can do is to assume that price is going to continue higher, and then look for entries buy entries in an upwards move. But you're going to do that using your indicators to confirm that we are moving upwards, that we are keeping the bearish momentum. But once it switches like this, after it made bearish divergence, and the RSI breaks through, absolutely we can then look at doing sell trades, even though price has been going up. But that's not going to happen often. In an upwards move, you're going to maybe find 2 or 3 buy entries, and then maybe you're lucky and you're going to find one sell trade. But I wouldn't go looking for the sell trades. A lot of people focus on finding the peaks and the troughs of price. For those who don't know, this will be a trough, this will be a peak. We talk about the highs and the lows that price is forming as peaks and troughs. So a lot of people go looking for that peak. They want to get in right at the top, or they want to get in right at the bottom. That's a bad habit, because you're going to sometimes get lucky, but in general, you're not going to be successful in determining the highs and the lows to that close. Just go with price, and that's it. We had the small rejection here on the RSI. See how the momentum is increasing. I'm not going to take a trade on this though. Okay, so a very simple concept of momentum. Can be a little bit hard to understand at times, but once you understand this becomes a very useful tool. It gives you a way to view price action a little bit differently. to understand. There's a saying that almost everybody will tell you, and I don't really like it because it's lost its meaning today. But people will very happily and very quickly tell you the trend is your friend. And though a lot of people don't really understand what that means, but when you're doing momentum, the trend really is your friend here. You want to go with it. You want to go with the momentum. You want to be on the side of the momentum always. Don't try to find the switchovers where we go from bearish to bullish momentum. Rather see if you can find pullbacks where bullish momentum is maintained and just go with that. That's going to give you a much better trading experience than simply looking for reversals. Reversals are a lot harder to do than continuation trades. It's just what it is. Possible, but a lot harder. So look for your continuation trades in, especially if you're using momentum-based strategies. A lot of my strategies are momentum-based, and we do continuations most of the time. My trades are continuation trades, not reversal trades. Okay. I think that's it. Momentum explained. If there's any questions, please ask them now, so we can get them answered. If not, then we'll call it a day and a week. Let's just see if there's any questions coming through. Also, guys, if you haven't yet joined the Telegram channel, we do live trading every day where we use strategies like this. We have 3 trading sessions every day. It's 100% free. There's no payments at all. So come join us. Details are in the video description below. Come join us. Come see what it's like. And like I said, it's 100% free. There is no fees or payments to be made. We just do live trading. I do 3 sessions a day, every day of the week. I hope to see all of you there. Okay, no questions, then we're going to call it a day. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you guys next week. My Telegram people, I will see you guys on Monday morning. Have a great weekend, and I'm out.